We will be watching a few clips from some TikTok women here, some TikTok wives, so to speak, or ex-wives. I'm not sure what they are. But we are going to sit here and listen to them talk about why they are not giving their husbands bedroom nighttime activities. I don't know. Can I say the word? I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. And I'll probably bleep it out throughout the video that I make here. But you guys know what I'm talking about. It's the nighttime activities that married couples have. It's what keeps a relationship. A very important part of, I think, a relationship, being married, whatever you want to call it, is those moments where you are able to spend with your wife. But these women, they do not like that. They like to do the other thing, which is to deny their husband that and hold it against them for whatever reason. So let's get into it.
I haven't slept with my husband in probably a year. Unintentionally, probably 4 or 5 months. Intentionally, probably 8 or 9 months. And that really gets a lot of people upset and causes them to jump to a lot of conclusions. And when I say sleeping together, I mean literally lying unconscious next to him. We've been sleep divorced for about a year. Intentionally, 7 months. Unintentionally, a full year. So people ask all the time, how did this happen? What do you do? And they honestly, their first thought is that we're unhappy and our marriage is on the downward spiral. And that's not the case. You should be prioritizing your sleep. Have you ever not slept for an extended period of time? Because this thing is real fucking terrifying when you don't. It's really dangerous for your family. And I experienced it firsthand, how fucking dangerous and terrifying it is when you don't sleep for long stretches of time. So I had to prioritize my sleep, and that meant not sleeping with my husband. And that's just the way it is. Because for me to be a functioning adult, for me to be an active mother and wife, I have to prioritize my sleep, and that means sleeping alone. And you know what? We're fine. My husband is fine. I am fine. My marriage is fine. We don't need your pity. We don't need your sorrow. Everything's okay. If you sleep great next to your spouse, wonderful. Love that for you. If you don't, that's okay. Doesn't mean you love your spouse any less. Doesn't mean that your marriage is on the rocks. Doesn't mean you're headed for divorce. It simply means that you two are confident in your marriage and in your relationship with each other, to know that lying unconscious next to each other for 8 hours a night is not going to be the thing that breaks you. And if it is, your marriage was shit to begin with.
And secondly, I know you're the big marriage expert. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Your wife is dead.
You blew it.
So here we have an individual who is explaining to us, and maybe did this really have to be 2 minutes long for her to explain this? I'm really just, I can't with these clips today, and I need to take a break. She spent 2 minutes saying that she was sleepy. I'm not sure why she has to be in another room to sleep. I'm guessing there's a reason that she will blame on the man. Maybe a lot of times women will say, oh, well, he snores too loud. I'm just going to go sleep in another bed, in another house with another man. But I was joking. But no, if she really wanted to sleep next to her husband, she would maybe get some earplugs or something. I don't know what the issue is. She's saying she's prioritizing sleep, and it's been a year since they've slept in the same bed or whatever. This is not as uncommon as you would think. A lot of women do this. They use any form of intimacy, even if it just means sleeping next to one another. A lot of times that is important. A lot of people think that's important. And if this man is in that category, you're taking that away from him. You're using that as leverage. And a lot of women will weaponize that against men to get what they want. Well, whatever that want might be. Every woman is different with whatever they're using, whether it's sleeping or nighttime activities or whatever you want to call it. They have no problem using that and weaponizing it against their husband for some sort of gain in their eyes. And they'll just write it off as, oh, well, that's what wives are supposed to do in a marriage. Just never get married, because your wife will be a decade into the marriage and then looking into her camera with a red hat on and complain about sleeping alone or whatever she's complaining about. I don't really know. I kind of zoned out after it was like 45 seconds in and she was still talking about how people are going to be upset about what she's about to say. And I'm like, oh my God, they really know how to stretch these. TikToks are supposed to be short, maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Just tell your story and then shut the hell up and get out of here. But some of these women just drag on and on.
It never was supposed to be. Why isn't it possible? It's just not. Why not, you stupid bastard?
This is the biggest reason that women stop having sex with their husbands, and I know what's coming in the comment section and I don't care because I have to spit the truth. And yes, I do know what I'm talking about. I know, Stuart, you're going to comment and say, well, maybe it's in this, and you're going to get mad about what I have to say, but here's the deal. I have a doctorate in social psychology. I've spent my entire adult life studying romantic relationships, the science of romantic relationships, both studying the science as well as publishing in the science. And so I am very well versed in this topic, not to mention that I've seen thousands of clients and heard from thousands of women about why they won't have sex with their husbands. So, Joe, if you know better, for sure put it in the comments, but I think I have some credibility. And if this is a problem in your relationship, you might want to humble yourself and take a seat and hear what I have to say. The primary reason why women stop having sex with their husbands is because they don't feel emotionally safe. And the reason that they don't feel emotionally safe is because their attachment needs are not being met inside of their relationship. Attachment needs are our deepest needs inside of a romantic relationship. And if those things are not fulfilled, we will not feel emotionally safe. And especially for women, when there is a lack of emotional safety, they start feeling very unsafe, giving their bodies to their partner and their bodies to their partner, and they start to feel extremely unattracted to their partner. They simply can't get physically turned on by their partners anymore. So if you're not familiar with my content, you might be asking, how do I know what their attachment needs are? Well, there's a lot of information about attachment out there. You could dig through my videos and you could probably very easily figure out the attachment style of your partner. Attachment science has been around since 1958. It's been studied empirically in thousands of empirical studies. Go to PubMed, the studies are out there. Or you can work with me and I'm happy to assess the attachment of your partner. And here's what you need to know. The different attachment styles have very different needs. So knowing the attachment style of your partner is really the keys to the kingdom and getting all your needs met inside of the relationship as well. So the anxious preoccupied, their biggest need is love, affection, and reassurance. So they need lots of reassurance every single day that you love them, that the relationship is stable, and that you are, in fact, appreciative of them. And they really have all the love languages. They just want lots of reassurance of your love.
Something is wrong here. Dead giveaway. Dead giveaway.
Charles, thank you very much.
Giveaway.
Thank you.
Sounds like a lot of work. That sounds like more work than just going somewhere else and getting the husband getting what he wants. And a lot of times that's what happens. That is 100% what happens. Men really don't care about attachment styles or love languages or manifesting. You know, a lot of average men really don't care about any of this stuff. And we're going to let this video play through. I haven't watched this full yet, but I was very interested when I watched the first part of it. So I have seen maybe the first 20 seconds of this clip. But we are going to go ahead and watch the complete clip. But I will just go ahead and tell you guys one thing. Everything she said up to this point is 100% wrong. That is not the main reason women stop sleeping with their husbands. The main reason women stop sleeping with their husbands is because they want something different. A lot of times they're already cheating and it's just a lot of hassle trying to explain. Like, if you know what I mean and you're put in that situation, a man kind of knows how things feel, how they are supposed to be, and then whenever that man realizes, like, hey, something's not right here, then questions start to get asked, and this makes the woman very nervous. So she will just opt out to just always refuse having those nighttime activities with her husband, just so that there's no confusion as to what's really going on. The number one reason is she's with someone else. She's with someone else and she doesn't want to have to explain why things are the way they are in certain parts of her body. Hiding, maybe hickeys or whatever you want to. There's always reasons that women do this. And they will start to push away and then they will start to monkey branch onto that other man. And will have a firm grasp on that other man until the husband finds out or until the other dude wants it to be known, or whatever the situation might be. this whole not attractive. There is some truth behind that. Like if a woman is attracted to you and wants to have those nighttime activities with you, she will definitely do that. But in a lot of cases, when it's a husband and a wife, the wife is usually withholding that for some sort of gain or for some very specific reason. It's never attachment styles or love languages or anything like that. That's just the accountability, the skirting the accountability women like to do. They always like to blame it on something that they have no control over, so that they're never to blame. It's always just something that they can't control, and it's part of their love language. They were created that way, and if you can't handle it, then you need to leave her alone and hit the curb.
Video on this, their reassurance of your love. The fearful avoidant, I just did a video on this. Their biggest need is to be able to feel seen, heard, and understood in the relationship, trust you to show up for them in a way that feels good to them. So really leaning into seeing, hearing, and understanding them and making a lot of space for their feelings is super important. For the dismissive avoidant woman, it's going to be space, autonomy, and lack of criticism, aka peace and harmony inside the relationship.
Lack of criticism.
So a lot of times what I see is that women are expressing my emotional needs are not met, aka their attachment needs, and I physically cannot get turned on by my partner anymore. In fact, they start to get disgusted. They get the ick so majorly bad. And could you open up your body and allow someone to penetrate your being if you feel disgusted by them? They feel like they're violating themselves and someone is violating them. And trust me, I do videos on why meeting a man's needs is very important inside of a relationship. So I'm definitely not one-sided on this. I'm just trying to share the woman's side here. And I know I may get roasted in the comments by the men, and I'm expecting it, and I don't care. And none of my self-esteem comes from what Bob thinks, right? But I know that I'm going to have a lot of women in the comments shouting, thank you. Thank you for saying what's been so hard for me to say or what my husband is not hearing. So there you go. The haters just boost the...
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call me a hater because I don't care either way. I'm never going to get married, and your advice really doesn't pertain to me at all. But I will say one thing. I think that there is a obligation in a marriage that need to be fulfilled. That is what the contract is about, because marriage ultimately is a contract. You're signing a contract. However, men are always forced to withhold their part of the bargain. They're always made to pay. They are always made to fulfill what they signed on to fulfill whenever either when the marriage ends or at any and all points during the marriage. They are required to fulfill all these duties. What would happen if the man would be like, well, you're going to withhold that from me? No money. That little allowance you get? Nope, it's gone. Those Starbucks trips? Over. The daily Target runs? Never. How do you think she would react to that? Yeah, because how many times do you think that would happen in a marriage? I say that never happens, because a lot of times men will do whatever they can to try to salvage a marriage, and I think doing something like that, whenever a man is to put their foot down in a marriage, and the marriage would just end. She would go find a simp that's willing to bend the knee for her before she gets told what to do by her now husband. She'll just get another husband another simp that she can boss around and tell what to do. That's ultimately what women want in marriages. They want all the power. Men, I wouldn't necessarily call it power, but there does need to be some sort of level-headedness in a marriage. A lot of times that is the husband. Women lead with their feelings. They lead a lot with emotion, and men are more logical. So it's how it's always been. And now with the rise in single moms, single women households, they're in chaos. A lot of them are. You can just look at the statistics of single mom households. The kids are out of control, and they need that structure and that stability of that man in that house. It makes all the difference. But let me know what you guys think. Leave me a comment down below and subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Rat Boy out.